Don't cry now, the rankings just deflated the Springboks' hot air balloon. Ben Smith has harsh words for the Springboks as they drop from the top of the World Rugby rankings after a 29-28 loss to Argentina. For the first time since winning the 2023 Rugby World Cup, South Africa is no longer number one, a position Smith argues they didn't fully deserve to begin with. Don't cry now that the rankings can't hold up the hot balloon. They are what pumped the air into it in the first place, he says. Please subscribe this channel to support us. South Africa's time at the top was inflated by World Rugby's ranking system, which awards double points for Rugby World Cup knockout matches. While this helped the Springboks soar, their performances outside of the tournament haven't exactly been stellar. Their pre-World Cup ranking was fourth, and it was only after narrow 1-point wins over France, England, and a depleted New Zealand that they claimed the top spot again. Smith points out that South Africa's 94.20 points were frozen in 2020 when they opted out of playing while other teams were competing. This allowed them to avoid the ranking fluctuations that plagued other nations during the pandemic. But once they resumed, their ranking was propped up by inconsistent performances, including a streak of losses to Australia and New Zealand in 2021. The Springboks' reign at the top has been a story of survival, not dominance. Unlike Ireland, who went on a 17-game winning streak, or France, who had a 14-game run, South Africa has rarely strung together more than a handful of wins at a time. Their longest winning streak since 2018 is just 6 games. Smith's criticism doesn't stop at the rankings. He highlights the Springboks' reliance on luck, pointing to Jordie Barrett's missed penalty in the World Cup final and New Zealand's red card. If Barrett's kick was 2 meters to the right, there's no tire pump for South Africa's ranking, and the narrative this year would be very different. In Smith's view, South Africa's inflated ranking has finally deflated, and their true place in World Rugby is now reflected in the standings. Don't cry about it now, he says, the rankings only reflect the hot air that was pumped into them in the first place.